Hi, and thank you for tuning in. I've been wanting I've been feeling the rise of waves to do this talk for some time now. I want to talk a little bit about the dangers of non-duality and the traps that can be inherent if we rigidly follow blindly this path as another way to bypass our human, beautiful, subtle and complex and alive experience. There is a beckoning of some sort that's happening in society. There's more people that are waking up to the true essence of who we are, which is the full-fleshed, alive human and beyond human, all at the same time. And there is myriad paths to this recognition and self-realization, right, in the ground of being. And I have been on the verge of those so-called dangers of dropping into a kind of nihilistic, empty, void place. And I have been blessed to train as a psychotherapist and keep finding and discovering my feet on the ground the more we deepen on this journey. It's almost like titrating the system to anchor in a deeper well of presence, from which place we can welcome different parts of ourselves that have been on exile. We can welcome archetypal energies that might be revealing in our system the deeper we go. We can welcome and meet and sit with the deepest, thickest part of our shadow aspects of our personality. We can have access to realms and intuition and have encounters and other realms, and there's all sorts of things that are opening. And I just want to really, really emphasize the importance of keeping the grounding and the heart open while we're entering these places. A useful question might be to open your heart and drop an inquiry and check inwardly. Some that I have struggled for a long time myself. What is my intention for following that journey? You might feel a very strong sense of thirst and a burning longing and desire to remove the shackles and the chains that have kept you trapped and imprisoned in a sense of self that feels limiting, that feels it's not all of you, that feels it's not authentic. Yeah. And the more our collective field is entraining in that state of consciousness, the more it affects us on a very frequency and vibrational level. But keeping grounded and having a sense of allowance of our mind, the intelligence of our mind. There is so many people I witness, they go and they want to fight the mind. They want to get rid of the mind, and that can be very dangerous because we end up creating a very strong inner split in our psyche that you might have a lot of rest in that place of oneness with all, with existence. But the journey is to really embody that recognition and flesh it down through your very fingernails. And one of the lovely ways to do that is, apart from doing physical exercise or keeping grounding in very physical ways, if that is your context allows that, is, for me, it's been the path of the heart, because in the heart we unite that awareness of that we are the one consciousness, we are interconnected, and we're bringing it down into our bodies and into our hearts and into our cellular memory, as we're rewiring the system to find rest in that ground of being that can hold whatever is emerging, right? That does not mean that we're not humans with our angst and our fears and our vulnerabilities. But we might be welcoming these from a much deeper place. So we do need to keep the doubt in terms of the cautionary mind, to keep checking in, right? We can lose ourselves in so many different threads, and if that's somebody's journey, that's somebody's journey. But my role as a psychotherapist is to keep a grounded sense of this reality, which can feel really hard if you're in the midst of a deepening awakening experience. So surrounding yourselves out in nature, having walks in nature, pets are a really beautiful and grounding force. Of course, love and care from friends and family. The union with God, as I call it, the merging with this existence, can also be a lovely grounding force. The mountains, the trees around you, nature has been my way, one of the many ways. For others, it might be a sense of discipline and having an altar where you open your heart and you find that sweet spot again and again between the sweetness of surrendering and finding your power place, your will about how you want your life to be, by reclaiming your life in your own hands. And there will be times that might not be clear, that might feel like there is a kind of death that's happening. So allowing the space and the time to be held while you're going through that transformative process is really important. We cannot rush our emergence. Nature is not interested in some ways, in our comfort. Right? And that's shown all around the world at the minute with all that's happening. But watch, have some element of caution of not being lost in that narrative that is so dangerous, that you're not a person. What a lot of bullshit that is. So we might not be that kind of person with a limited sense of identity, we're much more, but to actually lose ourselves totally in that ideology as another way of escaping your reality, escaping your personality, escaping your suffering, is not going to bring the results that you long and anticipate. The challenge is to come fully fleshed here in this moment and really meet your pain as your innermost ally in your journey of awakening into who you are. And you've got the power to do this. You've got the power to really trust the inner stirrings of grace within your heart, and to claim your light and your radiance and to shine it brightly in the world. Not from a place of greed and attachment and conquering. This is the paradigm we're trying collectively to leave behind, and the more of us are awakening to this heart-based way of life and orienting to life from a place of trust, of gentleness, of looking after the people in our family and looking after ourselves, the inner psyche. So keep harnessing your attention, keep harnessing your focusing, keep harnessing your ability to become aware of the stories and the lies and the deceptions you tell yourself, and be curious where they come from, because they arise only so that you meet that inner longing that is longing to be touched and tasted within you. If this speaks, leave me a comment, ask your questions. I hope you truly find who you are in all the fullness of your vulnerability, of the way that life is choosing to live through you, and the gifts that are hidden in the thick of the suffering of the vulnerability. If you have the luxury to create space to reflect on it, because some of us don't. Some of us are truly in survival, in war zones, and sometimes these people can be our greatest teachers about how we welcome life and we don't take life for granted. So I hope this is helpful in some ways and supportive, and may you be well.